Hello and welcome back to the joinDOTA League Season 2. This is the Europe Region Division 1, and this is Game 2 of a two-game series between Hehe and Virtus.pro. I am Roxas, and I will be the English broadcaster for you today. Last game we saw with the Level 1 Roche into 3 Necrobooks, pushed through doing very well for Virtus.pro. Some shaky team fights, but ultimately, if you're able to kill the buildings, you get to win the game, and a little bit ineffective with the Axe and the Doom, kind of making it a little bit difficult there for Hehe, but we're into game 2 right now. They're on the dire side, let's see what they're able to get. So Hehe will keep the same bans regardless of side. They're going to ban out the Lycan and the Batrider Virtus.pro. They will not waver with their bans as well, and that's going to be, they're going to ban out the tree. Actually, never mind. What did they ban in the last game? They banned something besides Wisp, obviously, because there was Wisp in the last game. I'm not sure exactly what they banned. Maybe they banned Bottom. I think they banned Bottom. I think they banned Bottom and Tree. But regardless, let's talk about the picks. Hehe, they will get the Bottom first, and VP, they're going to pick up 2 cores right away, some pretty strong cores that we see them have a bit of success with, or a pretty consistent amount of success with. It's going to be the Darkseer as well as the Slark. This should be the Slark for God, probably to go into the mid lane. Or maybe they throw Illidan in the mid lane as something like the OD, like they had done before. And then, excuse me, and then they just, it's more of a hero than a lane, hero thing than a lane thing. So you put Illidan on some other farmer, make God play in the quote-unquote hard carry role as a Slark, let him get a good enough start and get the team fight going up. So Hehe, they will secure their Shadow Demon, so Shadow Demon Bottom, going to be pretty good, not to mention very good against both Darkseer and Slark, Demonic Purge, removing Surge, as well as just being able to slow down Slark and try to catch him. VP, they will ban out the Bloodseeker, a hero that I think is pretty much vital as far as if you want to play Slark, you got to make sure that the other team doesn't get a Bloodseeker. He's not exactly a hero that you pick up to counter Slark, but you lose anyway because you have a Bloodseeker, and that hero has gotten buffed, and he's doing pretty well, I think. I think that silence is actually pretty sick these days. Not to mention being a pretty strong laner. Just with the power of Bloodbath and the global presence of Thirst is just absolutely ridiculous, especially for what it provides for your team. So Hehe, they will ban out the Ancient Apparition. Don't want to have that in combination with Darkseer, as well as the Slark. Just a general strong hero you don't really want to deal with if you don't have to. So they're going to ban that out. They actually ban out Jakiro. So interestingly enough, they ban out the Jakiro Darkseer combination, something that is pretty old school. We kind of see it a bit niche, but Jakiro and Slark have a lot of damage over time, or small damage instances with both Liquid Fire as well as Dark Pact, so that kind of synergizes as well. But VP take no time in banning out both Bloodseeker and Doom to make sure that Slark has a good time. They also snap pick up the Disruptor, which has the very good synergy with the Darkseer as far as being able to vacuum people into the kinetic field and into the Static Storm as well, which just sets up for a very easy wall. But the Disruptor absolutely wrecks Slark. So currently their whole draft has seemingly been based around just making sure that Slark has a good game, which Slark's one of those heroes that you kind of like have to do that with in a way. Not that he needs a really good start to do well, but it's more that if he has a bad start, it affects him a lot more than most heroes, I would say. So, let's see what he decides to go for here. They could go for something like an Invoker, which has been completely ignored, surprisingly. The Soulcatcher Sunstrike doing very well. Quaswex does very well against Slark. They could go for, well, they would not go for a Dire Side Templar Assassin. I was just thinking about that, but Disruptor and Darkseer absolutely wreck her face. They could go for a Beastmaster, I guess. I mean, there are a lot of good combinations they can go for. They can go for Enchantress. I think Enchantress is pretty good. She has a tough time against Slark, though, which makes life hard. There's Visage is on the board as well. The Soul combination with Soul Catcher and Soul Assumption that's a lot of freaking damage at level 3. When both heroes are at level 3 and you have level 2 in both of those skills, respectively.
10 seconds remaining.
So, they go for Viper. Viper's okay. I guess this is just in anticipation of trying to shut down whoever's mid. It's also a core that builds a mech, which is pretty nice because it frees up your supports to get mobility items or to buy more wards, smoke, and dust. So it's whatever. I think Viper's okay. Picking him proactively is something that I'm not too big of a fan of, though. So they go for Disruptor Dazzle. This is good. There's a distinct way to lack of way to cancel TPs, but the team fight is absolutely absurd. Just with the vacuum wall as well as the static storm kinetic field, not to mention weave on top of that, it makes Slark just do a ton of damage. Weave is just so underrated. I mean, Dazzle has picked up a lot ever since the Poison Touch nerf. He kind of fell off a bit, but people were like, wait a second. I can make everyone on their team with Weave take beyond pure damage because they have 0 armor. Especially if you get something like an Assault Cuirass on your team. Remaining. Pretty easy. Or if you have Darkseer and they have an Assault Cuirass, you just get a copy of that guy. And voila, you have an AC for your own team. So, Hehe, going to be greedy here. They're going to pick up an Enigma. So they're thinking that they can't really be punished in the laning phase, and they want to try to take advantage of that with some good team fight. I think that Enigma's going to have a bit of a tough time. At least he's a BKB builder. But it might. I think this is going to be a fight the laning phase is going to be whatever. The pushing phase is also going to be whatever. And the ganking phase is going to be whatever. But the big team fights that are going to come around 25-30 minutes, that's what's really going to decide it. Because both of them have very potentially scary team fight. And whoever gets that off better, I think is going to just win the game, basically based off of those team fights. And it's not really an all or nothing sort of thing. You can have kind of scrappy team fights where you get 2 or 3 man black hole, but you don't get Disruptor or Darkseer, and then by themselves are able to do a lot of damage, and et cetera, et cetera. The VP's last ban here, I think Naga Siren would be a pretty strong ban. I think, what's another good ban? What else could really be a pain in their ass? I guess Brewmaster.
Dire team ban.
I personally don't think Brewmaster, we see some people play Brewmaster really well. I think Korok and Air do incredibly well on their Brewmaster, and Joe, I think it's not really the greatest hero everyone's making it cracked up to be, personally. He's really, really annoying in lane. But so what? Lots of heroes are annoying in lane.
Reserve time. 5
anyway,
seconds remaining.
Hehe with their last ban should be looking to target at least a mid or a hard carry. They banned out Naga Siren themselves. Naga Siren and Darkseer are pretty good, as well as a Radiant Naga Siren. They wouldn't be able to compete with that late game. They wouldn't really be able to shut her down, I don't think, especially with the space creation coming out from Disruptor Dazzle. And just the team fight combination, being able to lay the kinetic field and static storm over the Song of the Siren is a huge, huge pain. Not to mention, she's a bit of an anti-BKB carrier. That's why we used to see her as a support a whole lot of the time. The reason we used to see her support. Oh my God, Death Prophet! But the reason why we used to see her support a lot of the time is because she's a big anti-BKB carrier. Because the net goes through BKB as well as using the Song of Siren when they pop the BKB, and anyone else on the team doesn't have it, so you just get to 5v1 them. But Death Prophet can be picked up, and I like this hero. I think this hero has fallen out of favor. She does a lot of physical damage with Exorcism. I'm interested to see who they throw to the Wolves mid, though, because whoever goes mid against the Viper, whether it be Slark or whether it be Death Prophet, it's not going to have the greatest time. Radiant mid lane, a little bit easier, being able to farm those stacks with Crypt Swarm and Bottle Crowing, or with Dark Pact and Bottle Crowing. Let's see. He finishes up their lineup with the Centaur Warrunner for their offlane. So what I was going to say is I think Death Prophet works really well here because the silence. Before Enigma has a BKB, very long range, very large range as well. Going to be able to cancel the black hole. She has a very high movement speed inherently, which makes it pretty easy for her to dodge arrows and other things like that. Not to mention the team fight and pushing power. This is actually a Death Prophet for Illidan. Does he have the Immortal? Nah, he doesn't have the sexy legs.
For battle.
For shame. You need those crobbleless legs. But still, let's go ahead and introduce the teams now. On the side of Hehe, down 1 game in the series. On the dire side of this game, we're going to have Relo playing, it looks to be in the safe lane as the Viper. Nihi's going to be his MVP in the last game on the list. Let's see if he can have the big team plays this game. Going to be in the jungle as the Enigma. HWA going to go mid as the Potom. Off lane going to be played by Elzamon, the Centaur Warrunner, and last but not least is Shadow Demon. Going to be played as the final support by Chips Asian. The captain of VP, JOTM, going to be on the Dazzle. We're going to have Disruptor being played by none other than NS. God going to be on the Slark, going towards the safe lane.
30
On
seconds
the
to
off lane,
battle.
going to be Shocklow playing on the Darkseer. And going in the mid lane, as the Acropolis, it's going to be Illidan. So, Nihis and Chipsays are going to be spotting out this 0-minute rune, seeing if they can do anything with it. If it's a haste or something, get Shadow Poison level 1 pretty easy, get a first blood, but spotted out by this Radiant Observer Ward. Pretty clever there, not going to be dewarded probably. Another Observer Ward placed up here by Shocklow.
Begins.
Wait, hey bitches. Oh yeah, that's his Steam name. I keep forgetting about the official name, but Shocklow's current Steam name is Hey Bitches. No, he didn't have anything interesting for it. So, as these lanes break down, I think that this is going to be ultimately favoring VP, because they aren't going to be facing a Viper. Like, Darkseer against Viper is a whatever thing. Chip Station, he gets a haste, but he already skilled Disruption level 1. Can't really do too much with that. Unless he wants to try to get an arrow with the Potom here in the mid lane. Bottom lane, NS, and they're all looking for Centaur. Chispation knows he's not spotted. He put down a Sentry Ward. But Illidan, even with 280 move speed, you're going to be able to move back. Yeah, I think this ultimately is going to be favoring VP because neither Slark nor Death Prophet have to be facing up against the Viper. The Darkseer against the Viper, especially on the Radiant side, going to be a whatever thing. He's able to pull the lane pretty easily. He's actually going to stack this camp and farm with Ion Shell. He can still get his farm as long as he puts the Ion Shell there. Illidan, he's going to be getting farm. He's going to be getting levels. If he's getting camped mid, it's whatever. Centaur might have a bit of a tough time, though. He actually skilled Return level 1. Interesting thought there. Usually you might want to hold on that point in case you need to get hoof stomp whenever you're getting ganked. But at the very least, he is getting away with the jungle Enigma. So everyone's going to kind of get their farm, and Illidan on the Acropolis should be doing okay here. People forget she actually has a lot of damage. A 660 attack range is no joke. So she can harass out pretty easily, especially once she gets about level 2 Witchcraft. Gets that movement speed up nice and high. But Chiptazen, he's smoked up. He's going in the mid lane. He wants to try to get a first blood here. Illidan's pretty far forward. And Arrow is skilled. Salve gets canceled though. That's the lead. There's a disruption. Is the arrow to follow? Yes, it is. Oh, it does hit Illidan. And there's a Crypt Swarm as well. Is he just going to turn? He should turn and fight. Turn and try to fight HWA, but no. First blood goes in. I think if he turns and fights HWA there with a Crypt Swarm, he might have just gotten the first blood himself. But no. Illidan going to end up being the first blood in the mid lane. But very, very patient there coming out from Chipsasion. In the meantime, Relo is like, hey, you stacked this for us. Thank you. Thank you, Shocklow. He's going to get his farm. He'll be going towards that mech. He goes for boots before soaring. So he's really prioritizing his mobility. I'm even really sorry for the soaring, but in the mid lane, Jotum able to secure the kill on the Darkseer, and Shadow Demon able to kill off Illidan in the meantime. So that was just a TPN. Poison touches there. No Grave skill just yet. There it is. As he just hit level 3. And Enigma picks up the Soul Ring. Probably going to be working towards his mech. What does Viper go for? Do you go for a mech on Viper and go for the Blink and BKB on the Enigma? That's fine too. Either of them work. Enigma a bit better for the mech carry as he does have the mana pool to really deal with it. You can go rush straight Ags on Viper if you really want to. But either of them really work. They have a lot of options here. Whereas God down in the bottom lane, he's doing pretty well. 15 for 6 versus 12 for 3 on the Viper in the mid lane. Illidan not having as great of a time as I really would have expected him to. He has died twice, which kind of attributes to it, but still. I think just pure one word, gonna be fine. Or, God, I got a message and it said word. Anyway, Centaur Warren are gonna go down. He manages to kill off Disruptor in the meantime. I think that was just with the return, so return OP. Anyway, 4 minutes in, we're going to see what the next rune is. It has been basically a dual lane mid, just with Shadow Demon and Potom. Really trying to make sure that they shut him down. Know that they probably can't really kill the Darkseer because he can just surge away. Doesn't really care too much about the slows coming out from Viper. He actually hasn't even leveled Poison. Excuse me. He hasn't even leveled Poison attack. Prioritizing that. But Disruption, Soul Catcher, Arrow onto Illidan as well. Leap forward, Starstorm going to be able to get him. That's a third death there for Illidan. A little bit unfortunate there. But still, at least God's doing pretty well. He's 0-1. 21 last hits at 4 minutes. Really not shabby at all. Nihis is getting away with the jungle Enigma. He's going to get boots pretty soon. Looking pretty close towards that 10-minute mech or the Blink Dagger, whichever he decides to go for. Precision. Well, another disruption. Soul Catcher Arrow. Going to miss on NS, though. A little bit late there on HWA, but he's getting the farm in the mid lane. Boots picked up on Death Prophet, so now she's up to 363 move speed, just with those 2 levels of Witchcraft. God being totally uncontested. Centaur getting pretty close to his Tranquil Boots, getting a lot of levels. So I think basically, except Illidan, everyone's getting what they need. And this dual lane to really shut Illidan down has been incredibly effective. 2-0 on Mirana, and Viper getting the solo lane, getting him a lot of experience as well. 27 for 8. And it looks like Shocklow going to do the Darkseer thing, just cut the wave. It ensures you get every last hit. It's very easy to escape as well, and it forces your opposing lane mate to last hit on your tower, which can be pretty difficult. But Viper Strike is going to be there, and he's going to be surging as well.
Top tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Centaur goes down in the bottom lane. Not sure exactly what happened there, but he's having a tough time, sitting on 1 for 2 at the very least. Mana Boots now picked up, so their lane starts to get a lot scarier.
Dire's top tower
Still,
is under attack.
Darkseer moving up towards the mid lane. It looks like Shocklow's just going to move into the jungle now. And actually, we're going to see the early Roche, so Nihi's picking up the Medallion right away. So he's going to be going for the early Roche with the help of the level 4 Eidolons. God, he's picked up his Treads. He's looking pretty good so far. NS looking to try to camp this 6-minute rune. And it will be there. It's going to be a DD. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a Mexican standoff here. Tiptazen is there. There's a Disruption. Shadow Poison Soul Catcher. There's a Courier. And, well, Graves is going to be there. Courier takes a pot shot. NS takes an arrow. He might still die to the poison. And Soul Catcher, I think he will. No, he won't. But God comes in. There's a Pounce able to secure Mirana. Chiptazen. They can go under the tower. The DD was picked up from God. That's a lot of damage. Double kill there for God.
Double kill.
And what a good turnaround and presence of mind from God to move up there. Take that DD and turn that fight around. Meanwhile, Shocklow, he's going to be throwing out some anti-push. And puts out a creep or an Ion Shell onto an Eidolon, but it actually instantly gets taken down.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
In the bottom lane, everyone is going to go ahead and get back to farming. Enigma picks up the smoke, saying, alright, time for Roche, boys. He gets a couple salves. That's a lot of salves. I don't know why you need 2. But regardless, coming out of the laning phase, Illidan looking pretty sad. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while before he has an impact here. Really needs to go for something like those drums, get that Yule Scepter. Usually, Death Prophet's not too scary until she hits level 11 with Max Witchcraft and 2 levels into the Exorcism. So God's going to be the one that they really need to start making some space. Darkseer Shocklow's not anywhere close to his mech. Not really anywhere close to his mech. So he needs a bit of time to be getting that taken care of as well. And it looks like they will be going for a mech on Viper. So Medallion Blink going to be coming out for our Enigma. We're going to be getting the mech here on Reload. So if that's how they're going to decide to get it up, or to divvy up the team fight item purchasing chores. Tranquil Boots now taken up from the Centaur Warrunner. Now he can go jungle up to try to get his Blink Dagger. And Enigma can kind of just farm lanes, whatever, pretty safely. Illidan spots out the gank coming. I'm going to be able to move down towards this camp. Actually ends up stacking it, I think. But he's been just completely camped mid. It's been really, really annoying for him as well. Chiptazen has just been a huge pain in his ass all game. And HWA been doing very well as well. But he has a Ring of Aquila. We're seeing Enigma smith his demon children. He's going to be going for this Roche. Is he going to be just trying to solo it? Looks like he will. He's going to be tanking up a little bit of it, trying to make sure that he gets the hits, to make sure that these demon children multiply. And he does have the ability to just deny one to get some hits off. And there we go, the Medallion coming up as well. Pretty good trick you can do, especially with the Eidolon Micro. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, they're going to have a fight. There's going to be a wall. There's the kinetic field as well, but there's no vacuum. Moonlight Shadow was used defensively. Everyone's going to be able to get away. Stampede is there as well. Meanwhile, Enigma just taking Roche. Is he going for his own mech? Are they having communication issues? Yeah, they are. Unless this is Tranquil Boots. I don't know why you buy another branch. We'll see. Very slow but steady Roche. Well, don't get bashed. Keeps getting bashed by Roche. You might have to black hole him, even though it doesn't. I think you can black hole Roche, actually. I don't know. I've never tried. I think you can't. Still Medallion going to be used, and Arrow going to be there, going to be able to take out Rogue, and he finally gets it. Let's see who they give this Aegis to. Meanwhile, top lane, looks like there was an engagement. Darkseer gets away with a little bit of HP, but Reload taking a lot of damage from the Exorcism. He's going to go down. Death Prophet gets the kill and gets the deny, but Roche goes down to the Dire in the meantime. Space created. Yeah, they're getting 2 mechs. They aren't talking. That's not good for them. So, a little bit unfortunate. It looks like Enigma might want to sell some of this stuff. Go for boots or something. Darkseer, though, Jacquelou's saving up a lot of money. I don't know if he should probably go for a mech for his team. Unless they plan on getting that on Illidan. If they do, they're not going to have it anytime soon. God, he did pick up his own Blink Dagger right away. Speaking of which, Blink Dagger going to be coming up in about 1,000 gold, but Stampede going to use Stomp, double edges there. There is a Grave, but not able to get it off. The Malefice going to be able to stop him there. 4-man gank squad. Really only HWA was not there. He picks up his treads. Going for the DPS build, not really the move speed lane dominating build with the phase boots. And Illidan, finding some much needed farm, has his phase boots, so has that move speed up. Probably going to be going for the drums. Bottom lane, going to be starting to be pushed up. HWA pops a DD rune. Let's see if he decides to do anything with this. Might try to fire an arrow onto Illidan. Maybe just some Starstorm and right clicks after a leap would be okay. Enigma's still killing mech, they don't realize. They have not talked power of having a stand-in. So they'll have 2 mechs. And Darkseer, Shaco just one-shot buys this mech. I think he was wondering if he could get away with a Blink Dagger or something, but God, he's smoked up, moving towards this mid lane. They really want to start taking some objectives, especially since they gave up their tower in the tier 1 bottom. They threw down a ward here as well. It's undetected. And there's the leap and the pounce. Well, God, he's going to be able to get this kill as well. Off of the blink as well. So he's currently sitting at 4-0, dominating right now. In the meantime, we're going to have Johnum and Exorcism going to be used. It's only level 1 Exorcism, but with 3 levels in Witchcraft, it's going to be enough to dissuade anything. There's no Blink Dagger just yet. Not even any boots on Enigma. So he's not going to be able to get in a very good position for the Black Hole, especially just with the Exorcism and everything. If you get Illidan in and he has the Exorcism anyway, it's kind of a whatever thing because the Ghost can still target you. But important pickup here is Centaur now has the blink. Looks like he's going to be going towards the mid lane. Exorcism's going to be running out. Stampede is ready as well. There's a Static Storm, but the Stampede is there. What are they going to be doing here with this? There's going to be the Stomp. There's going to be a Double Edger going for Darkseer right away. Weave is there. He's going to get Shallow Graved. He's going to be able to live through this fight. Meanwhile, on the backside of the fight, NS, he's barely going to get away from the Viper. Just one more right click's going to be able to do it. Phase Boots are going to be able to make him catch up, but no, he dies to the tower anyway. So that's currently a 1-0. A couple of heroes very, very low health at the moment. Let's see if they try to engage. It looks like they will. Double mech too strong. It's hilarious. It's okay, they can use the buckler, then they can use the mech. They do stack, but generally you don't want 2 mechs. So the siege, still going in the mid lane. NS TP's in. He doesn't have the Static Storm. He does have the Kinetic Field and Max Level Glimpse, so arrow to fly and it completely misses. They're going to be able to get this tower. There's a blink. Going to be able to land on and completely blow up Dazzle there. And there's a wall. There's no vacuum though, and God, under the cover of Shadow Dance, is still pursuing HWA. NS gets a glimpse off, and he's going to be disrupted though. There's a Kinetic Field, and NS is just trying to cast his spells without dying. Mirana goes down. There's a buyback from Dazzle. Dazzle TP's in right away, but God, blink, pounce, Dark Patch going to be able to kill off Enigma, and that's his Aegis going to be going down. He buys off a stick of all things, the panic thing to buy. Jotum, he's going to go down. No, he won't. He was managed to grave himself, and is he going to be able to get through the Poison Touch from the Corrosive Skin? No. You Poison Touch, I Poison Touch you right back, so. Very successful fight there from Hehe, and they did not use Black Hole just yet. So boots coming up for Enigma, but meanwhile the blink pounce from God going to be able to secure the kill on the Centaur as well. NS pops a Static Storm, but the Kinetic Field is on there in time. Relo was able to get out of there with the help of the Stampede, using the Shadow Dance to get all of his health back. He's doing pretty well, but Moonlight Shadow is used defensively. Are they going to be going on to Shaco here? Yes, they... Eidolon. Oh, the Poison Touch able to get him. So all of a sudden, 3,000 gold on Relo. just casually. I hope he just goes for a pipe and sells the buckler. Or at least starts going for his Agnum Scepter. 2 mechs, not what you want. Illidan going to be going for those drums and move speed build. There's a blink, hoping to find a target right here, but not able to get him. So still, as this game progresses, 9 for 10 the kill score. Very even. If we're looking at the EXP, I mean, a little bit more in favor of VP as they haven't been, a little bit more as far as gold. I think most of that is isolated in God. If we're looking at the hero levels, it's lots of the supports. Illidan is basically a support at this point, unfortunately. Sitting at 1 and 4. It got camped mid pretty hard, and still Death Prophet can recover pretty decently. Kind of, if you let her hit level 16, it doesn't really matter too much anyway, even if she doesn't get the items to build really tanky. I'd say on the front lines, because basically, you just do a lot of damage from as Death Prophet as long as you're just alive. So you build tanky, you build Shiva's Guard, you build Heart of Tarrasque, you build Assault Cuirass, you build Yule Scepter so that you have really high move speed and good mana regen, not to mention escape. You can build Ghost Scepter as well. Also, it is going to be a pipe coming out from Reload. Not going to finish up that mech. Going to keep the casual buckler. In the meantime, though, it does stack with the mech as far as the armor goes. Let's see what HWA decides to go for. Probably Molnir. That's just what all Pottoms are doing these days. Does she have anything in her inventory or on the courier? No, she does not. But yeah, with Death Prophet, I mean, you can get her to level 16 if you have other heroes on the front line that are able to do things for her. She doesn't necessarily need to build super tanky. And God, with the help of Shadow Dance, able to spot out where all the wards are and helping the D wards. And it looks like he's picked up an ultimate orb, probably going to be going for that Eye of Scotty right away. Looking to be pretty tanky. It could be a Lincoln Sphere, but I don't think it's really needed. Really, the only thing you're going to be blocking there is Demonic Purge and Viper Strike. Speaking of Viper, he gets glimpsed into a Static Storm. God, Blink into the Pounce and Reload. He gets Defensive Disrupted, though. And Shadow Dance can be used right immediately. Exorcism is popped. Demonic Purge onto Shocklow. In the meantime, in the backside of the fight, it looks like God was manning up a bit, but avoids the Pounce. There's the wall, going to be hitting No One Grave onto Illidan, though. And is he going to be able to get a Crypt Swarm? He's not going to die. He'll be totally fine. So far, only God goes down. Illidan gets away barely. Barely. Denied that creep. Showed him who's boss. So Enigma going to be going straight for the BKB, not going to be going for the Blink Dagger. Just going to rely on the initiation from Stampede as well as the mobility from him. Looks like there's going to be a Blade Mail coming out from Osman. Very smart, particularly against the Death Prophet, for she won't have a BKB for a while. Probably going to go for, that after the drums. Usually you want to go for the Yule Scepter right after that, because if you have phase drums Yules with max Witchcraft, you get 1 move speed below max move speed every time you phase, which is very, very powerful. Blink, Double Edge, Arrow, Shocklow, dead. That's the burst required. Well, there's going to be a disruption on NS. They're actually going to spin the Purge on him as well, and the right clicks as well, but there's the Shallow Grave. Pounce is going to be airballed completely. God, he's going to be forced to use the Shadow Dance right away, but one more right click, going to be able to kill off the Disruptor. Jot him. Oh, the Black Hole PGG! Going to be completely airballed, and Reload going on Jotum, trying to TP out, but going to be missed. God, he just completely gets out of there. Illidan, he doesn't have the Exorcism to defend this as well, so...
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Okay. And meanwhile, Relo, he's going to be going back to the top lane, and Illidan just going to be trying to farm up again. Pipe finished up onto Viper. Going to be going for that Aghanim Scepter, just a casual buckler. God, does he have anything on the courier? Nice. But still probably going for that Eye of Scotty. We do actually have a Ghost Scepter up on HWA. Really scared of the physical damage, I suppose. But typically you don't want to go Ghost Scepter on your Mirana. I guess, I mean, then who's really the carry? Is it Viper? He's going utility, and do you have a utility Mirana, and then you have a utility Centaur? You don't really have much in the way of physical DPS, which you're going to need. Especially whenever there's Weave on board, other things you're going to have to deal with. So. Everyone just kind of content to farm. Roche is back up now. So they'll be able to do Roche whenever they really want to, I guess. They can kind of just do it whenever they feel like it. Everyone from VP feeling a bit defensive. And God is pushing out in the top lane. He's pretty invulnerable. He might get a little ballsy with that DD rune. If he was sure that Relo was the only one there, he would have gone for it, but everyone else is off the map. He doesn't really have any wards, so They only have wards right here and right here, so he didn't know if anyone else was there, so playing it safe. He still has a little bit of time left on that DB as well, so can put that to use at a later stage. By the way, NS gonna get purged, gonna get disrupted, poison, soul catcher as well. Enigma comes in with the Malefice. There's a Satyr just blasting button. Mirana able to KS with the arrow. Stampede is going to be used. Is that in the mid lane? Yes. Illidan, he's Jotum couldn't get in range for the grave. He's just going to try TP out. So he TPs out. And Illidan goes down. 1 for 5 currently. Disruptor as well. Going to be trying to push the top lane. So they should be able to get this, but I don't think they exactly want to trade. There is a glyph on both sides. Going to be spent immediately. But this is 5 men. I guess 5 for 2 to take a tower is a whatever thing. Enigma now has his BKB though, so he's pretty invincible. He doesn't have too many ways to cancel the black hole. Though the only black hole that we saw was just the PGG one. Defending high ground is decent for VP, so they're going to have an okay time. We just need to make sure there's a big black hole from Nihis. There's the buckler. And the mech is on cooldown though. They're just going to try to do some chip damage to this tower. Exorcism is on cooldown though, which is a big part of their teamfight utility, which they're going to be missing. Ag's coming out for Viper. Is that his finish, Aghanim? Oh, speaking of Viper, gets glimpsed back into a static storm. Well, he's not going to... Oh, but the defensive disruption saves him at barely any HP. Oh, the Crypt Swarm finishes him off though. And Courier getting spotted. Is he going to go for it? Courier baits? Courier baits are real. He isn't going to blink and try to pounce into no man's land, so... Viper, he doesn't have his Ags finished. He has it finished from 50 gold, though. So he'll probably stick that in his stash, and whenever he's back, he will be able to do some stuff. So God, looks like they're going to be moving towards Roche. They know that Roche is up. Maelstrom, as predicted, picked up by HWA, so now he's maybe doing some damage. And why has it Ghost Scepter, but... So be it, man. Not too much. We haven't been pointing out. Shako, he does have his Blink Dagger now, so he has a little bit more ability. We've been seeing it in these fights. God was pinging out the wards here. He's going to probably get pretty close to the Eye of Scotty. Got about 1,000 gold left, 2,100 for 1,230. Yeah, he's got about 800 gold left. But meanwhile, Roche going to be contested. Pretty difficult to fight into this when there is Black Hole. Is there a weave? Yeah, there was a weave popped. Wait, was that just a weave popped from like 10 million range? What's the range on that thing? I guess it is pretty... Wow, that actually is a ridiculous cast range. Holy crap. I never noticed that it was that big. Alright, jokes aside, I should not have said that. Anyway, word choice. It's an interesting thing. They're going to be looking for this tier 1 tower. Interestingly enough, it still has not gone down. It's the only tier 1 tower remaining in the game. But the pushing power from the Eidolons doing their work. Darkseer and Shako was able to pick up a PD Rune God. They're all just really focusing around the Roche Pit. Whoever gets a better counter initiation, I think, is better. They have the Darkseer and the Disruptor, and then they are competing basically with the Enigma for the counter initiation. But Enigma is going into the pit. This could be pretty dangerous. This is being spotted out as well. Everyone sees everything. God, I think you need to get over there, friend. He's saving for buyback right now, but they're getting lackadaisical. Roche is going to go down. They have a medallion. What are they doing? They see this. They're just giving up. Oh, there's a DC. That's not good. That's not good at all. Ugh. Excuse me. Stretching. One moment. I need like 10 seconds. Alright, sorry about that, everyone. We did have the pawns actually corresponds with that. Yeah, a little bit of a house emergency. I just needed to attend to that really quickly concerning rent and stuff like that. So, I mean, Roche goes down. A little bit of indecisiveness there from DP. Allows him to get it, and Viper now picks up an Aegis of the Immortal. He has his Aghanims done. We'll see what HWA goes for next. Maybe just finishing up the full on Molnir. But the name of the game now is high ground defense for VP. Illidan, after finishing up those drums, he's going to go straight for his BKB. He doesn't want to be controlled as much in these team fights except for anything from Black Hole. And if he gets the Exorcism off anyway, well then whatever. So He's going to be able to at least be doing the physical damage coming out from the ghosts. But I mean, if he had that immortal item, man, he'd be doing a lot better than legs. So Force Staff now picked up here from Shadow Demon, just utility items. I think Force Staff, if you don't know what to buy, just buy Force Staff. It's really good. But now, say doesn't want to go for buyback. God decides he just wants to one-shot buy his Scotty. So now he's pretty tanky, hard to bring down. And now Slark is one of the best heroes with Scotty. Just the slow as well as the stats do a lot for you. And Slark has one of the worst stat gains in the game. They're all below 2 per level. Jotum just kind of chilling in the trees. You know, a little bit ballsy there. Illidan, he has the TP, so he can go home whenever he wants. God going to be moving up there as well. He has a regeneration rune. Wonder if he'll pop it. No. Just going to be a TP back here from Illidan. And God, he's going to take over the split pushing duties coming up top. But Jotum doing the smart thing, he's just going to cut the wave. Try to waste their time. Make sure there's no backdoor regen. Or there's going to be backdoor regen they have to fight. He actually can do a little bit of damage to this mid tower. He's just going to grave himself to kill the tower. He might still die to creeps. I don't know. That's pretty ridiculous. But in the meantime, oh, there's a big fight. And the Disruption Static Storm. There was not a black hole used, though. Double kill going to be there. And Shaco, he's going to be going down as well. There's a hole on top of all of that. But God, he finally TP'd back. He's going on to HWA. He's going to be able to get him with the Dark Pact. Double kill there. Buyback coming out immediately from NS. And Demonic Conversion used. God, he's trying to man up on Reload, but he still has an Aegis. And he has 10 points in Essence, so doing a lot of damage. Buyback coming out from Shaco. There's the glimpse back into the kinetic field. But NS, he immediately regrets his decision as he's going to be clicked down. But Shallow Grave going to buy him some time. Oh, but God goes down even after the Dark Pact. Shaco able to break the Aegis, though, and Reload getting a double kill just off of that. Illidan, he's coming back. He's got his BKB as well. He doesn't have the Exorcism. Blink Dagger now picked up from Enigma. Doesn't have it himself, but he does have it in his stash. Shocklow moving in here. Dark Pact is there. God is taking so much damage. He has Shadow Dance if he needs it, though. I think he can go on it right here. Shadow Dance, go for it. Vacuum going to be onto Enigma. Pipe going to be doing a lot of damage, though. God gets the pound slot, but here comes Shadow Demon. Going to be able to get the defensive disruption that cancels his TP report. But anyway, God going to be moving back, has a stack of Shadow Poison. Illidan on the other side of the trees. There's another grave. Jotum graves himself. Dark Pact onto God. He has to pounce up to the high ground. He's going to be spotted as well, taking a lot of damage. Reload doing a lot of damage. Just, he's impossible to bring down. There's lots of damage over time with that Aghanim Scepter. In the meantime, the backside of the fight, Chip's hitting. He's going to go down to God. There's a Viper Strike back on to God. That's the power of having a 12-second cooldown on this ability. And never mind. So Poison touches there. Buybacks galore. There's a glimpse into a Static Storm Reload. This is how this all started to begin with, but without the Static Storm, God, he's going to be able to secure that kill. Never mind, it was actually just killed by creeps. Dark Pact is there. HWA, he might have a tough time. Blink Dagger off cooldown. And now, is there going to be a pounce? Leap? God, he's got so much movement speed, though. There you go back. Going for the Centaur. He has his Blade Mail down. He's got a Staunch. He's going to be going for a Heaven's Halberd. He manages to be glimpsed back. Stomp. Double Edge. Oh, but the last right click from Darkseer. Gonna be able to get him in the meantime. Actually, I think that was just the Ion Shell. So, at the end of that, buybacks used from Darkseer, Dazzle, and that was it. Racks are defended. Aegis is popped. No deny range, and well, things looking pretty ridiculous. This Enigma is so farmed. 5-1. This guy's a player. Nihis is doing incredibly well, playing like a monster on the Wisp in the last game and doing very well in the Enigma in this game, but not if he gets jumped here. He does have Black Hole if he needs to use it. Illidan is there. He has his BKB finish, and he has the Silence and the Exorcism if they want to use it. I think they probably should jump him here. And he just blinks away. Blinks to the low ground. He's going to be able to get out. But no, Team Blink, we got the Viper Blink going to be going for more utility here. I think I would have liked to see something maybe like an Orchid Malevolence or a Scythe of Vice, get a little bit more control, help your mana regen as well, maybe something that your team's not going to get. And Centaur going to be going for that Halberd. I think he doesn't have it. He wasn't able to buy it right before he died. I think he was sitting around like 1,700 gold or something. But at the very least, they have these aggressive wards looking for VP. Slark doesn't have a gem or anything. Not sure exactly what he goes for here. Probably something like a Basher would make a lot of sense. He's tanky enough. He has a little bit of control. Maybe goes straight for Butterfly, but picks up a DD. So this next fight, he will have a DD, and he's been doing really, really well in these fights. What's his KDA at? 9 for 2, so only died twice so far this game, and Disruptor NS, he's looking pretty close towards his Aghanim Scepter. Starting to work on his Aghanim Scepter. Never mind 5-man smoke. He pops a Static Storm right away before he dies. But there's a 5-man back into the wall, into the Static Storm. But there's a black hole. Jot him. He's shallow graved as well. And oh my goodness, they hear me yelling. But God, he comes back in as well. A beautiful 5-man combo, but only one goes down. Everyone's such low health. God, he needs the Dark Pact off all of these debuffs from the Viper Strike. He uses his Shadow Dance as well. Illidan with the Exorcism doing so much damage. He gets purged. Oh, but Illidan gets a double kill off the meantime. And there's only 2 left. Reload was going, but Mirana, she just TP'd home. She's like, screw you guys, I'm going home. Meanwhile, looks like they're going to be trying to get into reload. There's going to be a blink. Blink Pound's going to get him. Easy peasy. Centaur disconnects, but he's dead anyway. Paw's going to be coming out. So much action. What a big team fight. Oh my gosh. I need some water. So 21-26 the kill score. No racks down just yet. This is still a very even game. And look at, whenever the pause, but look at how much VP with this high ground defense and these great fights are able to take this back. This is absolutely absurd. VP playing, especially Gods, just playing out of their mind. And having a DD rune for that fight. Definitely most fortuitous, but just Shockley as well as NS doing incredible work on the Darkseer and the Disruptor just by themselves. Slark, God goes ahead and, as thought, goes ahead and buys the full Basher. So he has a lot more control, a little bit more lockdown, or a little bit more damage as well. So we'll probably see him go for that Abyssal Blade, or he could go straight for Butterfly. I think when you hit 3,800 gold, whether you decide to go for an Abyssal or finish up a Butterfly, both of them are very good. I'm personally a big fan of going for Butterfly, at least until the BKBs come out. There's especially on agility heroes. No MKBs have been really started. There's no Hex really started as well. The evasion's going to be great. It gives you a lot of DPS and a stupendous amount of agility. So God picks up this Invis rune and see if he'll be able to get it. He knows that he's not seen because he still has his Shadow Dance. And the Ion Shell is going to be there. He's going to be looking for a pick-off in the lane. He's spotting HWA. HWA's dead. There's no way he can get out of this. There's the Blink Pounce. Oh, it catches him. The vacuum was there to cancel a potential TP anyway and clear the trees. So God, now on a killing spree. Mid lane, NS pushing out a little bit. Going up against Nihilus. He's pretty farmed as well. He probably goes for something like a Shiva's Guard next, but he gets silenced. He gets glimpsed, but he BKBs off the glimpse. That's a 10-second, or that's an 8-second BKB. Illidan, he pops the Exorcism, but God comes in. He goes on to reload. That's so much damage. He's going to go down. That's so much physical damage that they just can't deal with. And this is what I was talking about. Level 16 doesn't matter if Illidan had a bad start. He's just going to have a lot of damage just with these ghosts as long as people can protect him, and they're doing an incredible job of that. Halberd is down, or is up, but you just Dark Pact that off if you're Slark. It doesn't matter. You need a silence. You need a sheep. At least gives him some evasion, so they need an MKB, but Illidan, he's going to be working towards his Shiva's Guard as well, as he's got that plate mail. Going to make him a lot tankier. And they're going to be going for this tier 2 tower. They do have the creeps here as well, and it should be looking straight towards Roshan. What's coming out on the courier? It looks like a... Oh, never mind. Shiva's Guard's coming out on Darkseer. So it looks like it'll be an AC coming out for Illidan. I really like an AC, because if Illidan's around to fight and he has the Exorcism, all of a sudden everyone's also taking a lot of bonus damage as well. So it's a hero that you stay a lot, like, Death Prophet is one of those heroes that you do damage by just staying alive, and if you stay alive, well then you have the AC and you just do a lot more damage, and then that frees up God to build a damage item instead of going for an AC himself. So as far as the Darkseer, he's got his Shiva's Guard, Mech Blink Shiva's Guard, usually almost all you need. Probably going to go for a Hex or an Ags of his own. I think Ags is usually a great choice just to get a copy of the Viper, get a copy of the Mirana, the right clickers, and just turn them against them. Sheep is good as well. Normally, those are the two items that we usually see. Other than that, just get more mobility, such as a Force Staff, or if you really feel like you can go for a Refresher, but I don't think he really needs a Refresher. I think Wall is by itself enough. We got skin close to that 3.3k gold mark. You can sell that bottle, go for an Eagle Song, or start going for that Abyssal. Abyssal does give him 100 damage, just pure right clicks, but I think the stats for Butterfly are just so good. Illidan picks up the Chainmail, going for that Assault Cuirass. And so, I already talked about why I think Assault Cuirass is great on this hero. But Relo's sitting on a bit of gold. Did he buy back recently? No, he didn't. Does he have anything on the courier? Is he just that poor? Looks like he's just that poor. But meanwhile, map control going to be hotly contested now as this next Rosh is up. This is Aegis and Cheese, so going to be pretty crucial that we see that here. Illidan and God kind of occupying the jungle here. It is 5 heroes versus 2. They both can escape pretty decently if they need to, so they're going to get out of dodge, going to be totally fine. Dark Pact there from God, just going to be clearing some creep waves. Double Ion Shell going to be pushing the wave a lot as well. So, ward was pinged out by Dazzle. He's saying, like, hey, I think they have this warded. So they're going to be a little bit careful. And he does, okay, he has a gem. I was saying, did no one pick up a gem? When you have a Slark, getting a gem is just one of the greatest things. But Relo, he blinks out. He throws a Viper Strike on the God, and he's like, oh, no thank you. So Slark just gets to regen all his health for free. And Mjolnir now picked up from Potom, but they're taking Rosh. We'll see if they're able to contest this. Moonlight Shadow going to be used. God, he's coming in as well. He knows that this is going on. He sees the arrow fly out of the pit, pops a regen. There's a disruption, or the static field and the kinetic field as well. Darkseer throws in the wall as well, but the Blade Mail and the Mjolnir charge is there. And they're able to secure one in the pit, but they get the Aegis. God, he gets that as well. And Centaur is able to get that, is taken down at the end. So 2 of the heroes weren't there. They're going to be using the Black Hole for high ground defense, and Slark picks up the BKB. Or, sorry, the Abyssal Blade. God, words are so hard right now. Relo's just farming. Friend? 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 A little bit greedy, I think. He Dark Packs off the debuffs here. Uses the Shadow Dance. Midnight Pulse is there. Let's see if they decide to go for this. And then when it blinks forward, Relo, he's going to be going for this. Throws a Viper Strike onto Jotum. He's just going to try a TP out. Is there a disruption? No. Barely gets him out there. All these heads-up TPs from Jotum, able to get him out. He knows that he's carrying a gem. He has to make sure that he does not feed that gem. Chips Asian, well, looks like he just has the Force F. He has a fair amount of gold. He might go for something like the Aghanim Scepter to get those 2 purges in a fight. But Invisrune, coming up from Shocklow, he's going to be able to spot Relo farming in the woods. God is there. There's a blink out from Relo. Is Slark going to be able to get it? He doesn't have the Abyssal Blade, so they're not going to go for it. They spot out Chips Agent. And this is what they need to be doing, just taking control of their jungle, taking control of the map. And he totally playing on the back foot of just from map control. And God, what a comeback. Like, they were down 12k gold, and now they're in the lead. Just these incredible fights coming out from the Disruptor and Darkseer. Just Shocklow and NS are really on it right now. God, Mjolnir is really good. I was hitting them from like 10 years away. 10 miles away. Years in a unit of time. But Gem now picked up here from Chips Hagen. They want to get some more map control. Really hard whenever you have a Slark that has a gem to keep your wards out. He always knows where the wards are and can just send someone there to go do the ward. So that's the most powerful thing about this hero, I think. So, 27 to 25 the kill score. They still have Aegis on Slark, so probably going to want to look to make something happen with that. Meantime, Illidan just pushing top lane. He has the courier sitting, waiting to buy his Assault Cuirass. He does not want to die. 5 gold. And he buys the Assault Cuirass. There it is. And now, big pickup. NS picks up his Aghanim Scepter. We haven't been looking at him for a while. Cheese dropped in base. Delicious. But now, anyone that gets caught in the static field can't use anything. Enigma can't BK. It's an AoE do. It's really good. You throw the Exorcism as well. You throw the Wall and the Darkseer on top of that. Gonna be really difficult to take any of the team fights. So God, he's under the cover of smoke. He knows that he's not seen. Is he going to be going for anyone? The line is drawn. He might be finding a lot more. He blinks, goes on to reload as well, but the defensive disruption after the Abyssal Blade going to be buying a lot of time. Weave is there, and then there's a static storm. Reload is so tanky though. There's the arrow going to be hitting on to Shocklow as well. He hasn't used any of his abilities just yet. Is he going to be able to use the wall? There's a Shadow Dance from God. Reload the first one to fall. HWA, he's going to get bashed. Starstorm is not going to be able to there. He leaps to the low ground, but there's a pounce on the low ground as well. Everyone else going to be trying to get the hell out of dodge. Centaur goes down the top lane as well from Illidan due to the Exorcism. So that smoke gank, very successful. Now they have an Aegis. This is going to be high ground. This is going to be so hard for Hehe to come back from after their incredible start. It looks like it's going to be the first people to break base is going to be VP here. And God is playing really freaking well right now. Chi's going to be coming up for Death Prophet. Illidan going to want to pop that. Probably going to be going for that Heart of Tarask next. Shiva's Guard going to be used. And Chip's Agent, he has a gem. He's going to feed this gem. Poison Touch is there as well. Crypt Swarm coming in. Demonic Purge, he can't even... I mean, free gem for Darkseer. God is unstoppable right now. Are there any buybacks? He buys back right away. I don't know if they can do anything. They do have Black Hole right now. His blink is continually being canceled, though. They're actually going to be going down. They have used the glyph. So God has a lot of damage right now. He's got 23 armor right now. Blinks, Pounce, Abyssal onto Enigma, but there's a defensive disruption. Shadow Dance is there as well. Chiptation, he's going to die back, but there's the wall towards the base. Morano walks through it. Kinetic Field not going to be catching on to anyone. Hood Stomp is there as well, going on to NS, but it doesn't matter. He's just going to go down the right clicks. 4-man Black Hole into the... even though the BKB is there, but all they do is pop PG's Aegis. And Viper, he's got a Mjolnir charge on him. He doesn't want to walk past the wall. And God, he goes in, but he blinks into the base. Buyback out from Enigma, but all he has is a Malefice. He's going for a refresher, but God, looks like they're all alive. They have so much sustain, and they're just going to be going for these mid-racks. Is Exorcism back up? Yes, it is. They're going to want to save it for a fight. He just being caught off guard is making it so difficult for them. VP playing this later game absolutely splendidly, mainly on the back of NS and Shockwave, but racks go down very quickly. Silence going to be stopping HWA. Glimpse back. BKB going to be used from Enigma. And Viper Strike onto Johnham. Shockwave is moving up forward as well, but God moves up. There's a defensive disruption. He must be really annoyed at this point. Vacuum onto 3. Gets them all into the same point. But God, he's just feeling pretty invincible right now. He isn't, though. He needs to be going ahead and dark packing all that off. He might die. Oh, man. Viper gets 1,000 gold for killing off that Slark. Blink, Malefice onto Johnham, but he gets glimpsed back. Reload blinks forward, and there's going to be the Stomp. Shadow Poison's able to clean up that kill. Arrow to fly. But Shockwave moves the other way. Finds the invisibility rune as well. He's able to use that as his advantage. 5k gold as well. So while they salvage one of their wrecks, is the ranged axe with 44 HP. The gold on everyone for VP is absolutely sick. Illidan can pick up a Reaver. Shockwave can look for his Aghanim Scepter pretty soon. Sells a Soul Ring. Who needs that? That's for peasants anyway. Probably going to pick up Boots of Travel or something like that. Slark, he did go down, but he does have a lot of gold as well. Did he? He didn't buy back, did he? No, he did not. So, still, Relo, it looks like he's going to go for his own Scythe of Ice, I think, because he has the Ultimate Orb. I don't know what else he would really want it for. Unless he wants to go for a Manta style. I think Scythe of Ice makes sense on Viper, just because it's, if no one else is, oh actually, Darkseer buys a full refresher. That's how rich he is. This manages to buy a full refresher. Illidan pops a BKB right away. 1 second. Oh, but the Darkseer wall into the Static Storm in the Kinetic Field is absolutely annihilating all of them. It's almost a team wipe. Shadow Demon manages to get a defensive disruption, and that's going to be the craziest Wombo combo. Exorcism on top of that as well. Refresher is there, and GG going to be called. Team wipe there. Hehe. Going to be losing that game, and VP. What a game. What a game. I have to go explain to my roommates why I was yelling so excitedly. Wow. Woo! Wow. Wow. I don't have a whole lot of words. The Wombo is real. That's going to be it for us, everyone. That will, of course, mean that this is going to be a 1-1. This is a 2-game series between VP and Hehe United. I am Roxas. I was your English caster today. If you liked our content, you can follow us on Heflatv on YouTube and Facebook. On Facebook and Twitter. On YouTube, it is Heflamoke, as you see on the screen. If you liked these teams that brought you the games, make sure to check them out, VP and Hehe United. And if you liked the tournament, make sure you check out joinDOTA.com to find out more information to support the joinDOTA League. And if you liked my casting or hated it and want to give me just let me know. Well, my name is Call Me Roxas on Twitter, so that's going to be it for me, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and that will, of course, be a 1-1 at the end of the day. So Thank you, and until next time, just have a good one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.